Local breaking news. This is WYFF News 4 at 6 in high definition.
First tonight, Senator Lindsey Graham is considering a run for the presidency of the United States.
Graham says he believes he has something to offer, and that has people across the country talking tonight. WYFF News 4's Nigel Robertson talked to the senator's people today, and he joins us now. Nigel?
Carol and Michael, Senator Lindsey Graham has not officially made up his mind yet, but he is considering it. Today, his staff was very tight-lipped about what the senator said yesterday to reporters in Washington, and they did not make him available for an interview today. What we do know is, according to Graham, stay tuned. Here is what South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham said to reporters Tuesday, quote, "I do think I have something unique to offer the country. I'm not there yet. Stay tuned," end quote.
Sounds like any potential candidate who is weighing his options.
Political strategist Chip Felkel says Graham has proven himself as a leader in the GOP and has proven himself at the polls in South Carolina.
Some of the people that know Lindsey Graham are not big fans of Lindsey Graham. Some of those people would be more of the more rancorous hard right of the party that have disagreements with him on things. But he just won in a very red state.
South Carolina's United States Senator Lindsey Graham.
And it wasn't just a win. It was a big win against 6 Republicans in the primary and 2 challengers in the general election.
I think he's testing it. I think there are issues that are really important to him. Immigration being one, and sealing the border and dealing with the immigration issue. And I know foreign policy is a very big issue for him.
Back in October, a week before the election, I asked Senator Lindsey Graham what he would do if he wins his election and a leadership position in the Senate opens up. He said he didn't want it.
I'm not interested at all, but here's what I'm interested in terms of our leadership. Our leadership better produce. Boehner and McConnell better come up with an agenda that is good for the country, and if they don't, there'll be a revolt among the rank and file.
No Senate leadership, but according to the senator, a run for the White House is not off the table. And here is an interesting fact. Last time South Carolina had someone run for president, it was Fritz Hollings back in 1984. Jesse Jackson also ran for president in 1984 and 1988, although he was from South Carolina. At the time, he was a resident of Illinois. Carol, Michael, stay tuned.
Nigel, thank you. There's been a lot of talk around the country about this afternoon's presidential announcement on a change in U.S.-Cuba policy. President Barack Obama wants to expand economic ties, open an embassy in Havana, and ease travel restrictions to Cuba. It's the most significant development in U.S.-Cuba relations in 50 years, in fact, since the Cold War. And the move comes with the release of Cuban spies held in the U.S. in exchange for an American who's been imprisoned in Cuba for 5 years. Ryan Nobles is in Washington tonight with the story of that American hostage whose freedom led to the deal.
At the start of the Jewish holiday, a miracle for the family of Alan Gross.
I guess so far it's the best Hanukkah that I'll be celebrating for a long time.
Held in Cuba after being convicted for attempting to set up the internet illegally to promote destabilizing activities, Gross's release spurs the start of what President Obama calls the normalization of ties between the countries.
These 50 years have shown that isolation has not worked. It's time for a new approach.
That includes reopening embassies, easing travel and economic restrictions, allowing Americans to use their credit and debit cards in Cuba, and allowing them to return to the States with Cuban goods, like their world-famous cigars. Cuba's leader, Raul Castro, gave credit to President Obama for finding a way for the two countries to work together.
This decision by President Obama deserves the respect and recognition of our people.
But the historic move was not met without skepticism from Republicans, including Cuban-American Senator Marco Rubio of Florida.
This president and this administration have let the people of Cuba down.
And while the politics will continue to play out around the world, Alan Gross and his family remain thankful for this very first step.
It was crucial to my survival, knowing that I was not forgotten.
In Washington, I'm Ryan Nobles reporting.
Now, today's announcement has a lot of people remembering local ties to Cuba. The U.S. implemented the economic embargo against Cuba in 1960. Then came the Cuban Missile Crisis in '62. And that man, Major Rudolph Anderson, Jr., was the only person killed by enemy fire in that event. He was from Greenville. Major Anderson's unarmed U-2 spy plane was shot down over Cuba during reconnaissance. He was a graduate of Greenville High School, and there's a memorial, that's it, to him in Cleveland Park.
And of course, the 1980 Cuban exodus led to many Cuban immigrants relocating to the U.S., many settling in Miami. Angela Rozier from our sister station in West Palm Beach describes the atmosphere there earlier this afternoon.
Well, lots of heated conversations here outside Versailles here in Miami off of Calle Ocho. If you want to talk politics when it comes to Cubans and Americans, this is the place to be here. A lot of emotion going on, a lot of folks talking about their displeasure and pleasure for President Obama's announcement today. But everyone agrees here, even though they are on both sides, everyone agrees in order for anything to happen, they say the Castro brothers have to leave. Angela Rozier, back to you.
Our members of Congress are also reacting. U.S. Senator Tim Scott says he is not pleased with President Barack Obama's decision to reestablish diplomatic relations with Cuba. Scott says in part, quote, "I am certainly happy that Alan Gross has come home to his family. However, I am also very concerned that the president has decided to reward Cuba for decades of human rights abuses, weapons trafficking, espionage, and other abuses," end quote. Tonight on Nightly News with Brian Williams, we'll have the latest on the president's announcement on Cuban policy and the impact it will have on both countries. That's at 6:30 after our newscast right here on WYFF4.
An upstate mother tonight is sharing a secret, hoping to save a life. Right now, a special mission is underway aimed at preventing the kind of loss she suffered. WYFF News 4's Mike McCormick is live and local in our Spartanburg newsroom tonight. Mike, what's the mission?
Well, Michael, officers are focusing on the roads to give you a choice, sober or slammer.
I miss his smile so much.
Even at 14,
he loved the nativity scene so much.
Susie Thomas's son was a man of faith.
My husband built a manger. One evening, I said, "Where's Gregory?" We went down to the manger, and there he was, holding the baby Jesus. And now he's with the baby Jesus.
Susie says in September of 2001, a driver under the influence killed Gregory.
He had alcohol, cocaine, marijuana, and Lortab in his system.
Right now, we're at the beginning of Sober or Slammer, a time when officers will do sobriety checkpoints and intensify enforcement. During the time frame of last year's campaign, 41 people died in crashes across South Carolina alone.
It's 100% preventable.
From Susie's shattered heart came a whole window.
He just loved that baby Jesus in that manger.
Their family church, St. Matthew's Episcopal, added this stained glass in Gregory's honor, shining a light on his life as law enforcement shines one on what took it.
If I gave you something in my hand and said this was a secret to cure cancer, you would say, "Give it to me." And everybody would want it, wouldn't they? Sure. Well, I have a secret. Don't drink and drive. Don't do drugs, illegal or prescription drugs, and drive.
Sober or Slammer runs through January 1st. Mike McCormick, WYFF News 4, live tonight in the Spartanburg newsroom.
Thanks, Mike. A former teacher in big trouble with the law tonight. The Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office charged him with sexual battery with a student. Deputies say Jonathan Dover taught at Broome High School. They say School District 3 officials were told several weeks ago about the possibility of an inappropriate relationship with one of his students. Dover was allowed to resign from the school on Monday. He awaits a bond hearing later tonight.
Union County emergency officials tell us smoke is still pouring out of the old Bennett landfill in Chester County. Here's a look at it from Sky 4 at the fire at the landfill last month. You may remember this. The landfill is between Columbia and Charlotte, and local and state officials tonight are monitoring the air quality around the Lockhart community nearby. For the latest on this, of course, stay with WYFF News 4 on air and online at WYFF4.com.